The following matchup is presented and played with Hockey Blast Express, a product of Play Games LLC, copyright 2023, all rights reserved. And welcome back, everybody, as we get set for game one of this new time frame between the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens, and the opponent is none other than the 86-87 Buffalo Sabres. And as you can see, the adjustments are already made, as we will take away one play save and one shot save star from the visiting goaltender for whenever Montreal is out on the road, and we will add a play and shot save star whenever Buffalo is out on the road as the visiting team for this time frame. Which I thought, why not? Why not? So as you guys can see, the voice is healing up a little bit better. It's still getting there, but bear with me as I go through one more of this time frame here, and we should be back to normal by the time we hit our next time frame. So with that being said, your starting netminders are for the game for today's game one is Ken Dryden for the Habs, and Jacques Cliturer, I hope I'm saying that right, for the Buffalo Sabres is in net for your starting netminders. And why not we get right into it with game one of this time frame between the Habs and the Sabres. Let's get right into it. A new clock has been refreshed right back to 1 hour. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Will the clock operator please start the clock? And we're going to begin with a home scoring chance of a 22. Visitor goalie must make a spec save. So again, Ken Dryden's spec save stays the same. So one or two will do so. Can't and the Sabres will get on the board. It is a 1-0 lead. And let's see who scored the goal. 6. Player with the best shot rating. Right now, that looks like it will be Mike Foligno for the Sabres, and 1 assist. It looks like we're going to give it to Dave Andrechuk as the Habs break the ice here in game one of this time frame and lead it by a score of 1-0. Visitor scoring chance of a 53. Home player in 3, that's Christian Ruutu. He stops a Montreal goal opportunity with a quality of hit or a square. Oh, yikes. Ruutu does not have hit, and he does not have a square. So therefore, it will be a game-tying goal for the Habs. And let's see who scored it. 7, player with the best shot rating. It looks like it'll be Jacques Lemar scoring the goal. And 1 assist will be handed out on the play. It will go to either Tremblay or Savard. I do want to keep that square out there. So we'll give it to Mario Tremblay for the assist on the Jacques Lemar goal. And we stay right here in the 5th minute. 2 goals have been scored. Any combination of 6, then of 6 goals, the segment will automatically end. We move on with a 2-4-3. That's a quality check between players 4 and 3. That's Tom Curvers, and Doug Reesborough. We're looking for speed. Both guys have speed, and we will move on to the next segment in this one. We got a quality check between players 1 and 4. That's Arneal and Savard. We're looking for skill. Both players have skill, and we move on to the next segment in this one. Penalty check between players 2 and 4. It looks like Will Payment and Rick Chartraw. Oh my, Will Payment will be heading off to the box as he has a penalty rating of 2, and Rick Chartraw is going to move in on Cloutier, if I'm saying that right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Um, we'll move in for a play save to hopefully make a play save. A 2 or 3 with a dot will do so. Can't, and the Habs take the lead on a power play goal by Rick Chartraw as he scores the goal, and it will be 2 assists handed out on the play. Mahavlich, and we'll go with Roberts. So Chartraw from Mahavlich and Roberts are your power play goal scoring stat line for that one. And payment was used. Yep. So we move on. Home scoring chance of a 15. Visitor goalie must make a shot save. Okay, so instead of a 2 or 3 with a dot, Ken Dryden needs to make a 1 or a 2 with a dot to make the save. Can't, and the game is tied up at 2 apiece. Let's see who scored the goal. 8. Player with the best shot rating. That looks like it's going to be Robert Logan who scores the goal, and 2 assists will be handed out on the play. So we'll go with Phil Housley and Christian Rutu are your assist takers on the Logan goal. Oops, on the goal. Here for the game tying goal by Logan. We move on. Quality check, this time between players 4 and 1. That's Mike Ramsey against Maury Wilson for hit. Neither player has hit. Excuse me. And we will move on to the next segment here in this one. Oh, and it's an automatic power play goal for the Sabres. So whenever a 366 pops up, for those of you that are just tuning in, a 366 in Hockey Blast Express is a automatic power play goal to the home team. So let's take a look and see who scored the goal. 7. It's going to be player with the best shot rating out on the ice. That looks like it will be. Oh, I think I'm going to go with Mike Foligno. Mike Foligno will score the power play goal and 1 assist. How about we give it to Tucker? John Tucker. So power play goal from Mike Foligno, assisted by John Tucker, and the Sabres are up 3-2 here early in game 1. Visitor scoring chance of a 13. Excuse me. I do apologize again for the voice. The voice is still healing. So if you hear my voice crack, I do apologize. We got a 13 on the visitor scoring chance of a home goalie must make a play save. So Jacques Couturier will need to make a 2 or 3 with a dot to make the save. He can't. Game is tied. Game is tied up at 3. And let's see who scored the goal. 11. Second best shot rating. So Steve Shutt is going to be. We have a tie. Guy Lafleur and Steve Shutt are tied for the best. So the second best shot is going to go to Jacques Lemar. So Jacques Lemar will score the goal. And we're going to give 2 assists on the play. So Guy Lafleur and Steve Shutt will be your assist takers on the Lemar game-tying goal. And we stay put in this segment. Quality check between players 3 and 1. That's Adam Creighton and Bob Gainey. We're looking for power. Both guys have power, and the first period, an eventful first period, will come to its end. So, with that being said, as you can tell by the score, the Habs and the Sabres are deadlocked at 3 apiece as we head to the second period. With a visitor scoring chance of a 62 to begin this period, any home player with a circle prevents a power play goal. Oh no, none on the 86-87 Buffalo Sabres. They don't have a circle, so therefore it will be a goal for the Habs. And let's see what who scored the goal. 8, player with the best shot rating. So it's a tie between Riesborough and Tremblay. I do want to keep that triangle out there just in case. So we're going to go with Mario Tremblay, who scored the goal. And 2 assists will be handed out on the play. I think we're going to give Savard and Wilson the assists. So Savard and Wilson are going to be your assist takers here on the Mario Tremblay goal. And we stay put here in this 5th minute of the second period with a home scoring chance of a 64. Oh boy, home defense stop, breakaway chance. Visitor goalie must make a spec save. So 1 or 2 does it. Anything else, it's a goal. And it will be a goal. We are deadlocked at 4 even, a back and forth matchup here in game 1 to begin this time frame. Let's see who scored the goal. 4, third best shot rating. So the best out there is Payment. The second best is Rutu. The third best is a tie between Curvers and Paul Sear. I believe we're going to give that one to Joe Ricci. So Joe Ricci will be the goal scorer, and 1 assist will be handed out on the play. So Christian Rutu will assist John Ricci on the breakaway goal, as Ken Dryden was unable to make the spec save on that one. We got a quality check, this time between players 6 and 1. Anybody on the ice for the Sabres against Steve Shutt. And we want to look for power. The only guy on the ice with power is Payment. So we're going to go with a tie, as both guys have power. I almost said Payment. Both guys have power. And we will move on to the next segment in this one. Quality check between players number 5, that is Phil Housley, against anybody on the ice with skill. Pick your poison between Roberts and Gainey. I do want to keep 1 circle out there, and I do want to keep that circle out there for Gainey. So I think we're going to go with Roberts. Both guys have skill between Housley and Roberts. Both guys have skill, and we will move on to the next segment in this one. We got a quality check between players 1 and 4. That's Paul Sear and Rick Chartraw. We're looking for skill. Oh, Paul Sear's going to win that one, as he does have skill, as he moves in on Ken Dryden, hopefully to make a 3 or 4 with a dot to make the stop. He can't, and the Sabres take the lead courtesy of Paul Sear. Courtesy of Paul Sear's go-ahead goal. And 2 assists will be handed out on the play. It looks like Tucker and Curvers will be your assist takers on the Paul Sear goal. Home scoring chance of a 21. Visitor goalie must make a shot save. Okay, so Ken Dryden needs to make a 1 or a 2 with a dot to do so. He can't, and the Sabres extend. 6-4 is the score. Let's see who scored the goal. 10, it's second best shot rating. So the best out there on the ice is a three-way tie, I should say, between Anderchuk, Logan, and Creighton. The second best, I want to make sure 10. Yes, second best shot rating is going to go to either Ramsey or Riki. Since Riki got the last one, we're going to give it to Mike Ramsey. So we're going to give that goal to Mike Ramsey. And 2 assists will be handed out on the play. So Anderchuk and Adam Creighton. So Mike Ramsey from Dave Anderchuk and Adam Creighton are your goal scoring stat line for the 6-4 lead for the Sabres. We got a visitor scoring chance of a 23. Home goalie must make spec save. Oh, yikes. Jacques Letourrier will have to make a 1 or 2 with a dot to make the stop. And he does so. Wow. And we move, so nobody flips. So he does make the spec save, and we move on to the 20th minute with a quality check between anybody on the ice for the Sabres against player number 3, that's Doug Riesborough for the Habs. We're looking for Star. Nobody is going to win that one, so I think we're going to go right across from him with Christian Ruutu, as both guys, neither player has the quality of Star. So that's going to be it for the second period. And we have a score of 6-4 in favor of the 86-87 Buffalo Sabres. We go to the third with a quality check between players 5 and anybody on the ice for the between player number 5 and anybody on the ice for the Habs for power. Player number 5 is Joe Riki, and we're looking for power. I mean, pick your poison between Gainey, Mahavlich, Chartra, and Bouchard. We're going to go right across from them, from Riki with Pierre Bouchard, as both guys have power, and we are going to move on to the next segment in this one. Visitor scoring chance of a 25. Home goalie must make spec save. Oh, he did so before. Can he do it again? 1 or 2 with a dot to do so. Oh, and he can, and the game is within 1. It's 6-5. Let's see who scored the goal. 5. Choice player. So again, we're going to roll the red die with 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 6 is a reroll. Player number 2, that's Guy Lafleur. Guy Lafleur scores the goal, and it will be unassisted. So Guy Lafleur, unassisted goal, will bring the game within 1, and we stay within the 10th minute of the third period with a quality check between players, anybody on the ice for the Sabres against Rick Chartra for Star. Well, Rick Chartra is not going to win Star, so you might as well go for it with Phil Housley, because he's the only guy on the ice for the Sabres that has Star. So Phil Housley is going to win that battle as he moves in on Ken Dryden, who needs to make a 3 or 4 with a dot to make the stop. And he does so. So what a move that was for a risky move for the Sabres, hopefully to bring the game within 2 again. But nope, Ken Dryden did his job, keeping the game within 1. We move on. Okay, so whenever 6s are rolled, so again, it's a quality check. We're going to refer to the home side first. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 6 is a reroll. Player number 1, Scott Arniel. Scott Arniel. He has speed and skill, and we're going to look 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 6 is a reroll. At Mario Tremblay, we're looking for skill. Both guys have skill, and we will move on to the next segment in this one. Home scoring chance of a 31. It reads, choice home player rolls for rebound goal using shot stars +2. I'm definitely going to give that one to John Tucker. So it's close, but actually, I may give that to, you know what? Yeah, I may give that to Robert Logan. So he needs to make a 3 or 4 with a dot to score the goal. He does so. Robert Logan scores the goal, and 1 assist will be handed out on the play. So John Tucker will take the assist, and that will allow us to not go to the empty net mini chart, barring a goal score, unless the Habs can score right here within the next portion of the 20th minute. We got a quality check, this time between players 4 and 5. That's Curvers and Nyrop for power. Oh, Nyrop has power, so he's going to move in on Cloutier. Cloutier will move in, or excuse me, Nyrop will move in on Jacques Cloutier as he needs to make a 2 or 3 with a dot to make the stop. He can't, and Nyrop will score. It's 7-6 Sabres, and 2 assists will be handed out on the play. Mahavlich and I believe Savard. So Nyrop and from Mahavlich and Savard are your your goal scoring stat line for that one. Oh my goodness. We are already seeing another game of the project matchup right here, right now. Let's see if we can continue on here. Oh, and 555s, it's a fight plus a momentum shot. Oh boy, this is going to be huge. We got contenders. I'm going to go with Mike Foligno against Rick Chartraw. The bell sounds, and here we go. 2. Visitor lands a punch. Montreal 1, Buffalo none. High fight player lands a punch. If both guys have the same fight rate, both land a punch. Looks like Mike Foligno has the highest fight, so it's tied 1-1. 2-1 Montreal. 2-2. 3-2 Montreal. 4-2 Montreal. 4-3 Montreal. 5-3. I think it's 5-4 5-3 Montreal. 5-4 Montreal. 5-4 Montreal. 6-4 Montreal. And the referee breaks up the fight. So Rick Chartraw will win the fight and get a momentum shot. Can he tie things up? A 1 or 2 with a dot will stop it. 2 and a blank, that ties the game. Rick Chartraw scores the goal to tie things up. Wow. And we got ourselves we got ourselves a 9, which is going to be second best. Which is 2 assists. Lamar and Gainey. We'll go with Lamar and Gainey. Rick Chartraw, courtesy of the fight with Mike Foligno, scores the game-tying goal. Oh my goodness, what a game we are witnessing right here, right now. And we continue on. We got ourselves a quality check between players 3 and 2, which is going. Oh, Mike Foligno needs to flop. It's between Creighton and Roberts. We're looking for power. It looks like both guys have power, and ladies and gentlemen, we are going to sudden death overtime. Oh boy. Woo! So we will reset the stage here. And we will get started with the first period of overtime with a visitor scoring chance of a 55. Home player in 5, that's Pierre Bouchard. He stops a Buffalo goal opportunity with a quality roll of skill or a triangle. Otherwise, it will be a goal. Guess what, folks? The Buffalo Sabres are going to win this one. Stop the clock. Are going to win this one in the first 5 minutes of overtime, winning it 8-7. Let's see who scored the goal. 7. Player with the best shot rating. That's going to be Will Payment, who will score the goal. And there will be 2 assists handed out on the play. Sarutu and Curvers are going to be your assist takers on the Will Payment game-winning goal here in overtime game-winning goal. What a game. What a really back and forth, hard-fought game this has been. Oh my goodness. 8-7 the final as the Sabres go, as the 86-87 Buffalo Sabres lead this time frame by a 1-0 time frame lead. It took us a little bit longer than expected, but we got everything right. So with that being said, stay tuned for the Game 1 Biddy Bear game summary as well, presented by your favorite Biddy Bear products. If you choose to drink Biddy Beer, please drink responsibly. As always, it has a big taste at a bitty price. It's Biddy Beer. And stay tuned for Game 2 coming up right after this. And welcome back, everybody, as we get set for Game 2 of this time frame with the 1986-87 Buffalo Sabres leading the 76-77 Habs by a 1-0 time frame lead here in this one, as we witnessed another game of the project nomination with the Sabres winning it by a score of 8-7 in overtime. With that being said, your starting netminders for Game 2 will be Tom Barrasso for the Buffalo Sabres, and he'll be opposed to the other end of the ice by Michel Larocque for the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens. Without further ado, let's see how Game 2 goes down. Hopefully it'll go by quick. Who knows? But let's find out and see for ourselves. Will the clock operator please start the clock? And we're going to begin with a penalty check between anybody on the ice for the Habs against player number 4. That's Mike Ramsey. Either way, they can tie or go on the power play. They tie, and they will tie. So Doug Reesborough will be the lucky contestant to tie with Mike Ramsey, as both guys have the same penalty rating of 1.5, and we will move on to the next segment. Home scoring chance of a 62. It reads, any visitor player with a circle prevents a power play goal. Excuse me. Any visitor player. I'm sorry. Yes, I read that right. Yep. Any visitor player with a circle prevents a power play goal. Unfortunately for the Sabres, they don't have a circle out there. So it looks like it will be a 1-0 lead for the Habs. Let's see who scored the goal. We'll consider it a power play goal. 9. Second best shot rating. The best right now is Guy Lafleur. The second best is a tie between Mahovlich and Wilson. I think we're going to give it to Maury Wilson to score the power play goal. And the assist is 2 assists. So Lafleur and Pete Mahovlich will score the assists on the Maury Wilson power play ice-breaking goal. Penalty check between players 1 and 3. That's Shutt and Tucker. Both guys have the same penalty rating of 0.5. And we move on to the next segment here in this one. Visitor scoring chance of a 24. Home goalie must make spec save. Okay, so Michel Larocque needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to stop it. Otherwise, it'll be behind the net, and it's a tie game. And Michel Larocque will make the stop. Nobody flips, and we move on to the next segment. We got another visitor scoring chance, this time a 64. Visitor defense stop, breakaway chance. Home goalie must make a play save, so a 4 or 5 with a dot will do so. And it will. And the game stays put at 1-0 as we head to the second period. Quality check between players 3 and 1. That's Lamar and Paul Sear for skill. Both guys have skill, and we will move on to the next segment here in this one. Visitor scoring chance of a 41. Visitor player in 4, that's Tom Kerbers. He creates a goal with a quality roll of speed or a triangle. Although Kerbers does not have a triangle, he does have speed, so he's going to be moving in on Michel Larocque, hopefully to make the play save. A 4 or 5 with a dot will do so. Cans and the Sabres tie the game up at 1 apiece, courtesy of Tom Kerbers. Let's see how many assists we're handing out in the play. 2. It looks like Dave Anderchuk and Adam Creighton are going to be your assist takers on the Tom Kerbers goal. And the game is tied up at 1 apiece. Penalty check between players 4 and 5. That's Savard and Riki. Oh, John Riki is going to go to the box as Serge Savard will move in on Tom Barrasso, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the play save. And he does so, keeping the game deadlocked at 1 apiece. Tom Barrasso makes good on his part to keep his team in it. And we move on to the next segment of a visitor scoring chance of a 42. Visitor player in 5, that's Phil Housley. He creates a goal opportunity with a quality roll of star or a triangle. He does have a triangle and he does have a star. So therefore, he's going to move in on Michel Larocque, hopefully to make the play save. A 4 or 5 with a dot will do so. And he does. Michel Larocque makes the stop. And that is going to be it for that segment. And we move on to the next one with a visitor scoring chance of a 52. Home player in 2, that's Mario Tremblay. He stops a Buffalo goal opportunity with a quality roll of star or a square. Oh no, Mario Tremblay does not have a square and he does not have star. So the Buffalo Sabres are going to take a 2-1 game, a 2-1 lead in this game, in game 2. And let's find out who scored the goal. 9. Second best shot rating. The best out there is Robert Logan. The second best is the second best is Christian Ruutu. So Christian Ruutu will score the goal, and 1 assist will be handed out on the play. We'll go with Scott Arniel. So Ruutu from, Mike Ramsey. I'm sorry, Christian Ruutu from Mike Ramsey will be your stat line for that goal scoring stat line. Penalty check between players 3 and 1. That's Riesborough and Scott Arniel. And it looks like Doug Riesborough is going to head off to the box as Scott Arniel moves in on Michel Larocque, hopefully to make a 4 or 5 with a dot to make the stop. And he does so. as we head off to the third period with a score of 2-1 in favor of the 86-87 Buffalo Sabres. We start the third with a penalty check between players 4 and 1. That's Chartraw and Paul Sear. Oh, both guys have the same penalty rating by the hair of their chinny chin chins. They will escape the penalty box for now, but if the referee catches them doing silly things again, they will go to the penalty box. We got a quality check. We got a quality check between player number 5 and player number 2. That's Nyrop and Logan. We're looking for speed. Both guys have speed, and we are going to move on to the next segment here in this one. Is there a scoring chance of a 63? Any home player with a circle prevents a power play goal. This time there is one. Bob Gainey does have a circle to prevent a power play goal, a Buffalo power play goal. And that is going to do it for that segment. And we move on to the final segment before we head off to the empty net mini chart with a quality check between players 3 and 4. That's Mahovlich and Curvers. We're looking for smart. Oh, Pete Mahovlich is going to win that battle with Tom Curvers as he moves in on Tom Barrasso, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3. Yes, 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he will do so. Oops. So Mahovlich and Curvers, and we go to the empty net mini chart here in game 2. Keep your eye on the empty net roll on that is highlighted on screen right now. 4, the game is over. Stop the clock. Oh boy, the Buffalo Sabres scratch out another game to take a 2-0, to take a 2-0 time frame series lead to take back with them to the Forum in Montreal for game number 3. Oh my goodness. So with that being said, your final score for game number 2 is the 86-87 Buffalo Sabres 2 and the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens 1. Stay tuned for the Bitty Beer game summary of game 2 coming up next, as well as game 3 of this time frame right afterwards. As always, every game summary in this project is brought to you in part by your favorite Bitty Beer products. If you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please drink responsibly. As always, it has a big taste at a bitty price. It's Bitty Beer. And welcome back, everybody, as we get set for Game 3 of this time frame between the 86-87 Buffalo Sabres and the 76-77 Habs. Currently, the 86-87 Sabres currently lead this time frame, winning 2-0, as Team NHL is looking to get their first win, looking to get their second win of this project. Their second time frame win of this project, as Team NHL comes in as they came into this project into today's time frame with a 1-7. So they've won 1 time frame, lost 7, and 1 tie. Where the 76-77 Canadiens won 7 time frames, lost only 1, and tied 1. Overall, the record between these two teams, between the two sides, Montreal, the 76-77 Habs have a 32-15 overall record, which is a 28-10 regular win-loss record in regulation and a 4-5 in overtime, with Team NHL having a 15-32 record overall, with a 10-28 regulation win-loss record and a 5-4 win-loss record in overtime. So with that being said, your starting netminders are going to be the same as game one. Ken Dryden will be in net for the Habs, as Jacques Cloutier, I hope I'm saying that right, Jacques Cloutier will be the starting netminder for the Sabres here in game three. With that being said, with 28 minutes and 9 seconds left on the clock, we will have just enough to play at least 2 more games in this time frame, depending on how fast we play game 3 right here, right now. So with that being said, enough chit-chatting. Let's get into it. Will the clock operator please start the clock? And we're going to begin with a quality check between players 1 and 4. That is Andreychuk and Savard. We're looking for skill. Both guys have skill, and we will move on to the next segment in this one. Quality check between players 1 and anybody on the ice for the Habs. So that's Scott Arniel to do back. Oh, this is going to be fun. So we could either tie or go on the power play. Man, here's what we'll do. Dot, we tie. And we'll go on the power play. So Rick Chartraw will go to the box, as Scott Arniel will head off and skate on into Ken Dryden's net, who needs to make a 3 or 4 with a dot to make the stop. A 3 with a blank will not do it, because a 3, or excuse me, sorry, a 3 or 4 with a dot. Sorry. So 3 saves it. I'm sorry. My fault. So 3 does save it to keep this game right where it's at of where this game right where it's at of a scoreless tie. Home scoring chance of a 33. Home player in 1, that's Paul Sear. He creates a goal opportunity with a quality roll of smart or a triangle. Oh, Paul Sear does not have a triangle, and he does not have smart. So therefore, no action will come up from that segment there as we move on to the next segment here in this first period. Penalty check between players 2 and 1. That's Foligno and Wilson. Oh, Mike Foligno is going to go to the box, as he has a 2.5 penalty rating, as Maury Wilson will move in on Jacques Cloutier with a 2 or a 3 with a dot to make the stop. He does so. And the Sabres hold steady as we head to the second period here in game number 3. We got a quality check between both players in 1. That's Andreychuk and Shutt. We're looking for skill. Both guys have skill, and we move on to the next segment here in this one. Home scoring chance of a 32. It reads, choice home player rolls for rebound goal using shot stars +2. We got contenders here. Tucker, Payment, or I don't want to give it to Arniel, because Arniel needs to make a 2 or 3 with a dot. Whereas John Tucker and Will Payment needs to make a 3 or 4 with a dot. So I think we're going to give that one to Will Payment, as he needs to make a 3 or 4 with a dot to score the goal. 3 is enough, as the Sabres do get on the board 1-0, courtesy of Wilt Payment As let's see how many assists are handed out on the play. 2. How about it? Tucker and Scott Arniel. So payment from Tucker and Arniel are your goal scoring stat line for the ice breaking goal here in this one. Visitor scoring chance of a 36. Oh, sorry. Visitor player in 3 creates a goal with a quality roll of hit or a triangle. So visitor player in 3, that is Jacques Lamar. He does not have hit, but he does have a triangle out there. So he's going to be moving in on Jacques Cloutier with a 2 or 3 with a dot to stop the goal. Oh, and he can't, and Jacques Lamar will score to tie the game up at 1 apiece. So let's see how many assists. 1 assists. Pick your poison. I do want to keep Savard out there for the square. So we're going to give the assist to Mario Tremblay. So Lamar from Mario Tremblay would make a whole lot of sense there. As the Habs tie things up here at 1 apiece, and we continue on in this 10-minute segment of the second period. Quality check between 3 and 4. That's Creighton and Savard. We're looking for speed. Yes, speed. Neither player has speed, so don't want to speed, crash, and burn here. Neither player has speed, so we move on to the next segment here in this one. Quality check, this time between players 2 and 1. Logan and Gainey, we're looking for speed. Excuse me. Both guys have speed, and we move on to the next segment here in this one. We got ourselves a quality check between players 3 and 1. That's Rutu and Wilson. We're looking for smart. Both guys have smart, and that's going to end the second period right then and there with the score deadlocked at 1 apiece. Somebody has to win game 3 here. Who's it going to be? We're going to begin with a quality check between players 2 and 4. That's Mike Foligno and Rick Chartraw. We're looking for star. Oh, neither player has star. So we are going to move on to the next segment in this hockey game. Penalty check between anybody on the ice for the Sabres against player number 4, that's Serge Savard. We could tie or go on the power play. That's going to be tough. We tie. And we will tie. So John Tucker will tie Serge Savard with a 0.5 penalty rating. And we move on to the next segment here in this one. We got a quality check between player number 4 and player number 2, Mike Ramsey and Jimmy Roberts. We're looking for hits. Neither player has hit, and we will move on to the next segment here in this one, with the game deadlocked at 1 apiece. Quality check between Creighton and anybody on the ice for the Habs with skill, power, and smart. We could tie or because Creighton is not going to win. So between Lafleur and Schutt, one of them is going to do it. So we're going to give it to Schutt. And we will give it to Schutt. So Schutt has star as he moves in on Jacques Cloutier. with a 2 or 3 with a dot to make the stop. He does so, and we go to sudden death overtime for the second time in this time frame. And of course, we'll start anew. Both teams are tied at 1, and let's get right into it. Penalty check between players 5 and 3. That's Riki and Riesborough. Oh, both guys have the same penalty rating as we move on to the next segment. Quality check between anybody on the ice for the Sabres against Pete Mahovlich for Smart. Oh, pick your poison between Payment, Rutu, one of those two. I think we're going to go with. I think we're going to go with Rutu right across from him. Both guys have the same penalty rating of. Excuse me. Both guys have the same quality marked on their cards of Smart, and we move on here in this one. We got a quality check between players 2 and 4. That's Payment and Rick Chartraw. We're looking for skill. Neither player has skill. And we move on to the next segment here in this one. Home scoring chance of a 15. This could be it. Visitor goalie must make a shot save. Ken Dryden needs to make a 1 or 2 with a dot to stop it. Otherwise, it's game over. He can't, and the game is over. Stop the clock. So, with that being said, Sabres fans, you're sitting prime and pretty to win Team NHL's second time frame matchup here in this project. The 86-87 Buffalo Sabres rated a D+. How shocking! Rated a D+ would beat the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens by an A score, by rated an A. Unbelievable. This has got to be the Cinderella story of the project right here. And again, let's see who scores the goal before we send things over to the Bitty Beer game summary. 8. Player with the best shot rating. It's a tie between Logan and Tucker. It's Logan. And it will be Tucker. Tucker will score the goal. And 1 assist will be handed out in the play. Phil Housley will be your assist taker on the game-winning goal in the 20th minute of overtime. So with that being said, your final score here in Game 3 of the first overtime period, the 86-87 Buffalo Sabres are sitting prime and pretty to win Team NHL's second time frame matchup of this project, winning Game 3 by a score of 2-1. Stay tuned for the Bitty Beer game summary coming up next, as well as Game 4 of this time frame with 17 minutes, 23 seconds left on the clock. We will definitely play out a Game 4, and if we have enough time, we will definitely play out a Game 5. So with that being said, again, your final score here from Buffalo, the Sabres take it 2-1 over the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens. Stay tuned for the Game 3 Bitty Beer game summary presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. If you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please drink responsibly. As always, it has big taste at a bitty price. It's Bitty Beer. And welcome back, everybody, as we get set for Game 4 of this time frame between the 86-87 Buffalo Sabres and the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens. So as it stands right now, the winner of this game it doesn't matter in the outcome of this game. The Buffalo Sabres of 86-87 will give Team NHL their second time frame win of this project, as they sit perfectly, winning 3-0 with 17 minutes and 23 seconds left on the clock. So without further ado, your starting netminders will be Tom Barrasso for the Sabres, and for the Habs, it will be Michel Larocque, hopefully to put a stop to the time frame sweep here. Let's see if they can do so. Will the clock operator please, with a little cherry on top for both teams as we get set for Game 4, please start the clock. We're getting started with a quality check here in Game 4 between players 3 and 4. That's Lamar and Curvers. We're looking for Smart. It looks like Jacques Lamar has Smart as he moves in on Tom Barrasso, who needs to make a play save of 1, 2, or 3 to do so. He does. And the Buffalo strategy has been really perfect so far today. Don't want to jinx it. With almost 16 and a half minutes left on the clock, let's get right into the next segment. Penalty check between players 2 and 4. That's Lafleur and Ramsey. Oh, Mike Ramsey is going to go to the box as Guy Lafleur will skate in on Tom Barrasso, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He can't, and the Habs will get on the board early. It's 1-0, courtesy of the Flower, Guy Lafleur. And 2 assists will be handed out on the play. It looks like it'll be Riesborough, and I think we'll go with Savard. So Guy Lafleur from Doug Riesborough and Serge Savard are your goal-scoring stat line, presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. Oh, and Ramsey needs to switch. We're going to read a quality check between anybody on the ice for the Sabres playing off against Bob Gainey. All the qualities are going to be needed, but we're looking for Smart. The only 2 out there with Smart is Creighton and Riki. I do want to keep at least 1 square out there, so we're going to go with Adam Creighton. So both guys moving in on Bob Gainey. Both guys have Smart, as Gainey has Smart and Creighton has Smart, so it's a tie. And we continue on with the next segment here in this one. We got a quality check between player number 5, that's Bouchard, against anybody on the Sabres with hit, power, and Smart. It's close, but we're going to go right across from him with Riki, as he does have power, and we are looking for power. Both guys do have power between the 2, Bouchard and Riki. And we move on to the next segment here in this one. We got a visitor scoring chance of a 55. Home player in 5, that's Nyrop. He stops a goal with a quality roll of power or a square. He does have power and he does have a square, so he will stop the Buffalo goal from scoring. And after 1 period of play, 20 minutes in the books, the Habs lead it 1-0. Let's head off to the second period with a quality check between players 4 and 2. That's Chartraw and Logan. We are looking for speed. Oh, it looks like Logan won that battle with Chartraw, as he does have speed. So he's going to be moving in on Michel Larocque, hopefully to make the play save. A 4 or 5 with a dot will do so. And it will. Michel Larocque keeps the Sabres in check here in this one. And we move on to the next segment. Visitor scoring chance of a 63. Any home player with a circle prevents a power play goal. Oh no, the game is tied as the Habs do not have a power play, excuse me, a circle out there. So the Sabres will get on the board courtesy of a power play goal. We will say it is a power play goal. Let's see who scored it. 8. Player with the best shot rating, so that will be Mike Foligno scoring the power play goal. And 1 assist will be handed out on the play. So it's either Rutu or Housley. I do want to. I think I'll keep Rutu out there, so we will give it to Housley. So Mike Foligno from Phil Housley is your goal scoring stat line for the Buffalo Sabres on the game tying goal here in this one. We got a quality check between Tremblay and Rutu for star. Neither player has star, so that's going to do it for this segment. And the game is all deadlocked at 1 apiece. So something must have been said in the locker room during something must have been said in the locker room courtesy of the Sabres. Cards are flying all over the place. Yow. So something must have been said in the locker room prior to coming out to the ice for the second period. Hopefully the strategy is still intact for the Sabres. Let's find out with a penalty check of 4 or against, so 4, that's Savard against anybody on the ice. For the Sabres, they could tie or go on the power play. They tie. And they will tie. So we're going to go right across from them with Tom Curvers, as both guys have the same penalty rating. And we move on to the next segment. We got a home scoring chance of a 65. Visitor scoring chance. I'm sorry. Visitor scoring chance, so of a 65. Visitor defense stop. Breakaway chance. Home goalie must make a spec save. So Michel Larocque needs to make a 3 or a 1, 2, or 3 to stop it. Otherwise, it will be in the back of the net, and the Sabres will take the lead. So someone is rushing up the ice on a breakaway. And Larocque makes the stop. So nobody moves, so nobody flips. And that's going to do it for the second period. We are deadlocked at 1 apiece as we head into the final 20 minutes of this one. Quality check between players 2 and anybody on the ice for the Sabres. So player number 2, that's Jimmy Roberts. We're looking for anybody with skill, smart, and power. Close, but we're going to go with payment. We're looking for hit. Both guys neither player has hit. So either way, it will be a tie. So it's a good thing we're getting payment off the ice. Nice there, as the coach did not like the matchup, and we move on to the next segment. Home scoring chance of a 46. Visitor defense player in 1, that's Paul Cyr. He stops a Montreal goal opportunity with a quality roll of smart or a square. Oh, Paul Cyr does not have smart, and he does not have a triangle. So therefore, the Montreal Canadiens will take the lead. Let's see who scored the goal. 10. It's the player with the second best shot rating. So Guy Lafleur will be the best out there on the ice. The second best is belonging to either Wilson or Mahavlich. I think we're going to give that one to Wilson. So Wilson will score the goal and 2 assists. Lafleur and Mahavlich. So Maury Wilson will score the goal from Guy Lafleur and Pete Mahavlich. And somehow, some way, the Habs figure out a way to put this game on ice. Let's see and hope so. That is not the case, with a visitor scoring chance of a 41. Visitor player in 4, that's Mike Ramsey, creates a goal with a quality roll of power or a triangle. He does not have power, but he does have a triangle, so he's going to be moving in on Michel Larocque, hopefully to score the goal. But for Michel Larocque, he needs to make a 4 or 5 with a dot to stop the goal opportunity. 4, he does so. And Michel Larocque here at the Forum is hearing his name all over the place. As we move on with a home scoring chance of a 26. Choice home player rolls for a goal using shot stars +2. Well, I'm going to give that opportunity to Shot to seal up the deal here. So a 2, so 3 plus 2 is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 will score the goal. It will. The Montreal Canadiens, Steve Shutt, will score the goal. And there will be 2 assists handed out on the play. So Lamar and Tremblay are going to be your assist takers. We got a visitor scoring opportunity with a 22. Home goalie must make shot saves. So Michel Larocque needs to make a 1 or 2 to stop it. Otherwise, it's back to a 1-goal game, which he does so. Nobody flips, and we move on. Quality check between anybody on the ice for the Sabres, or excuse me, for the Habs against player number 3 of the Sabres. That's John Tucker. We're looking for power. Oh, John Tucker's not going to win this one, so pick your poison. We're going to let the red die choose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a reroll. Player number 4, that's Rick Chartraw. So he's going to win that battle against John Tucker as he moves in on Tom Barrasso, hopefully to make a play save. A 1, 2, or 3 will do so, which it will. And that is going to be it. Stop the clock. So it's 6 minutes and 9 seconds left on the clock. We will indeed play out a game 5 in this one, but the Habs do get on the board, preventing a time frame sweep of this time frame for the Buffalo Sabres and Team NHL. So once again, your final score here for game 4, with 6 minutes and 9 seconds left on the clock, we will play game 5. But for game 4, the final score is the Habs 3 and the Sabres 1. Stay tuned for the game 4 Biddy Beer game summary. As always, presented by your favorite Biddy Beer products. If you choose to drink Biddy Beer, please do drink responsibly. As always, it has a big taste at a bitty price. It's Bitty Beer. And welcome back, everybody, as we get set for game 5. This will be the final game of this time frame, and no matter what happens in this one, the 1986-87 Buffalo Sabres will win Team NHL's second time frame matchup of this project as they improved to 2-7-1 as the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens will fall to a time frame matchup record of 7-2-1. So without further ado, game 5 is about to get underway. Your starting net minders for this one is going to be Ken Dryden and Jacques Cloutier. Hope I said that right. If I did, great. If I didn't, I'm sorry. If I butchered any names, I do apologize. So without further ado, the Habs are playing for decency in this one as the Sabres wrap up the time frame. As both teams will wrap up this time frame right here and right now with Game 5, with 6 minutes and 9 seconds left on the clock. So whenever the clock hits 0, when it reaches 0, I will add on the time that it took from the time that it reached 0 until the time when I said stop the clock. So with that being said, with 6 minutes and 9 seconds left, let's get right into it with Game 5, just for fun. Will the clock operator please, with a little cherry on top, start the clock? We are going to begin with a quality check, this time between players 4 and 5. So Curvers and Bouchard, we're looking for power. Oh, Bouchard's going to win power as he will move in on Cloutier, who needs to make a 2 or 3 with a dot to do so. He can't, and the Habs will score the first goal of the game, courtesy of Pierre Bouchard. And let's see how many assists are handed out on the play. 2. It will be Savard and Riesborough. So Bouchard scores the goal from Savard and Doug Riesborough. We got a home scoring chance of a 42. Any home player with a triangle creates a goal. You bet we do. We got Adam Creighton to create a goal opportunity for the Sabres as he moves in on Ken Dryden, hopefully for him to make not to make a 4 or 5 with a dot, to make the stop as Creighton moves in on Dryden, who shoots, and Dryden makes the save. So with that being said, we move on to the next segment with a quality check of player between players 2 and 4. That's Logan and Chartraw. We're looking for smart. Neither player has smart. And we move on to the next segment here in this one. We got a visitor scoring chance of a 64. Visitor defense stop, breakaway chance. Home goalie must make a play save. So Jacques Cloutier needs to make a 2 or 3 with a dot to stop the breakaway opportunity as someone on the Habs skates on him at fast speed, and they shoot, and Cloutier makes the stop. Wow. We move on to the next segment. And with nobody flipping, we got a penalty check between players 2 and anybody on the ice for the Habs. Either way, Mike Foligno is going to go to the box. So we're going to roll the dot. We're going to roll the red die. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 will get the power play opportunity. 6 is a reroll. Player number 2, that's Jimmy Roberts. So Jimmy Roberts is going to move in on Jacques Cloutier, who needs to make a 2 or 3 with a dot to stop the goal. Can't, and the Habs will score their second goal of the game, first on the power play from Jimmy Roberts, and 1 assist will be handed out on the play. I think we're going to give that to Pete Mahavlich. So Roberts from Mahavlich will be your stat line for that power play goal scoring summary. And we move on in this 20-minute segment here. Quality check between anybody on the ice for the Sabres against player number 1. That's Gainey for power. Payment and Riki both have power, but I do believe I do want to keep Payment out there because of the shot stars. Because of his shot stars. I think we're going to go with Riki. Both guys have power, and we will move on to the second period here in Game 5 of this time frame. Penalty check, I should say, between players 5 and 3, Housley and Lamar. Both guys have the same penalty rating of 0.5, and we will move on here in this one between these two hockey clubs here, with a quality check between both players in 3. That's Riesborough and Ruutu. We are looking for skill. Christian Ruutu is going to win that one as he moves in on Ken Dryden, hopefully to make a 3 or 4 with a dot to stop it, which he won't. And Christian Ruutu will get the Sabres on the board. Let's see how many assists. 1 assist between Payment and Curvers. Well, it looks like it will be. I do want to keep a triangle out there, so we're going to give it to Curvers. So Ruutu from Curvers is your goal scoring stat line for the 2-1 goal, courtesy of Christian Ruutu. Penalty check. Again, I keep saying quality check. I'm sorry. Penalty check this time between players 3 and 4. That's Tucker and Savard. Both guys have the same penalty rating of 0.5 as we move on in this one. We got a quality check for players 4 and 2. Ramsey against Lafleur for hit. Neither player has hit, and we will move on to the next segment here in this one. Visitor scoring chance with a 52. Home player in 2, that's Payment. He stops a Montreal goal opportunity with a quality roll of speed or a triangle. Oh no. Payment does not have speed, and he does not have a square. So therefore, it will be a goal for the Montreal Canadiens. Let's see who scored it. 8. Player with the best shot rating. The best out there is either Riesborough or Tremblay. It's Riesborough. It will be Tremblay. Tremblay with the goal, and 2 assists will be handed out on the play. So it looks like it'll be Wilson and Nyrop. So Tremblay from Maury Wilson and Bill Nyrop is your goal scoring stat line for that goal to make it 3-1 in favor of the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens. Quality check between players 5 and anybody on the ice for the Habs. We're looking for hits between 3 guys: Riesborough, Chartraw, and Bouchard. We're going to get that one to No. Here's what we'll do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it will be Bouchard. All right. So Bouchard will win that one as he moves in on Jacques Cloutier, who needs to make a 2 or 3 with a dot to do so. Can't. And Bouchard will score the 4th goal of the game for his Habs, as he will lose the battle will win the battle against Riki. And how many assists are handed out on the play? 1. How about Steve Shutt? Steve Shutt will assist Pierre Bouchard on the goal. And we move on here in this one. Quality check between anybody on the ice for the Sabres against player number 2, that is Jimmy Roberts. We're looking for hits. Well, neither guy has hits, so it's up to the red die to see who will flip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a reroll. Player number 3, that's Adam Creighton. So both guys do not have hits, and that's going to do it for the second period, with the Habs in front by a score of 4-1. So no matter what, the Sabres are going to win this time frame as we have the Habs play for a little bit of decency. Visitor scoring chance of a 52. Home player in 2, that's Logan. He stops a Montreal goal with a quality roll of speed or a square. He doesn't have a square, though, but he does have speed. So that is going to put an end to the 5th-minute segment here in the 3rd period, and we move on. Quality check between, I'm sorry, not quality check. What am I saying? Penalty check between players 4 and 1. That is Curvers and Gainey. Both guys have the same penalty rating of 0.5. And we will move on to the next segment in this 3rd period. Quality check between both guys in spot number 1. We're looking for skill. Both guys have skill between Paul Sear and Maury Wilson. And we head to the final segment of this time frame. With a home scoring chance of a 15. Visitor goalie must make a shot save. Okay, Ken Dryden needs to make a 1 or a 2 with a dot to make the stop. 2 and a blank won't do it. It will be a goal for the Sabres. Let's see who scored the goal. 5. Choice player. Okay, so we'll re-roll the red die. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 6 is a re-roll. 5. That is Joe Ricci. He will score the goal, and 1 assist will be handed out on the play. So that is going to go to Dave Andrechuk. So Joe Ricci from Dave Andrechuk, and the Sabres are not going to go quietly here in this one, even though the Habs are playing for a little bit of decency. We stick in the 20-minute segment here with a quality check between Arneal and Naira for star. Neither player has star. Stop the clock. Oh my goodness. What a time frame matchup this was. But the 86-87 Buffalo Sabres will win will win Team NHL's second time frame of this project. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to today's action between the Sabres and the 86-87 Sabres and the 76-77 Habs. Your final score here in Game 5 is a score of the 76-77 Habs 4 and the 86-87 Sabres 2. Stay tuned for the Bitty Beer game summary for Game 5, as well as the Bitty Beer time frame summary coming up next as well. Stay tuned for the next spin of the Team Decider Wheel to see who will play the 76-77 Habs coming up next in this project. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if you have not done so already, please leave a like on the video, subscribe, and turn on the notifications bell so that way you don't miss out on any new time frame matchups in this project that I will be posting here on the channel. And again, guys, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, your final score for Game 5 of this time frame: the Montreal Canadiens managed to win 2 games, but win Game 5 by a score of 4-2. But the Sabres take the time frame, winning 3 games to 2. Stay tuned for the Bitty Beer Game 5 game summary coming up next, presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. As always, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please drink responsibly. As always, it has a big taste at a bitty price. It's Bitty Beer. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's time frame matchup between the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens and the 1986-87 Buffalo Sabres. We look forward to bringing you future time frame matchups throughout the 2024-25 National Hockey League's regular season whenever games are being played. Once again, it's that time of day again where we figure out to see who will play the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens next in this Gauntlet Challenge. Without further ado, let's get right to it. Please direct your attention to the Bitty Beer Team Selector Wheel, as always, is presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. If you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please drink responsibly. It has big taste at a bitty price. As always, it's Bitty Beer. It looks like the 2022-23 Columbus Blue Jackets will be the next opponent for the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens. Before we spin the home team selector wheel, this will be a very special series. As mentioned before, on August 29th, the hockey world lost Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. So this upcoming series will be a special series, as it will feature, of course, Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau. And of course, we send out our special condolences, or excuse me, our condolences to Johnny and Matthew's family from all of us here on the channel, and of course to the hockey world that loved Johnny Gaudreau, and of course his brother Matthew. May they rest in peace. Without further ado, let's see who will start between the Jackets and the Habs as the home team to start the time frame, or I should say, to start the time frame as the home team between the Jackets and the Habs. Please direct your attention to the Doc Cola home team decider wheel presented by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community and of the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens Gauntlet Challenge project. Looks like the Columbus Blue Jackets will begin as the visitors, as the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens will begin the time frame as the home team. So without further ado, if you like the content that you see here, that you saw here today, or on my channel, please do consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on this video. And as always, turning on the notifications bell so that way you don't miss out on further time frame matchups throughout the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens Gauntlet Challenge. We look forward to seeing you next time when the 22-23 Columbus Blue Jackets take on the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens next time in our next time frame matchup right here on the channel for the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens Gauntlet Challenge. And again, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a great rest of your day.